Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Thailand. Today's story comes from Dean, a retired rugby coach from Sydney who thought he'd found peace, love, and a fresh start in Thailand. He wasn't chasing bar girls. He wasn't throwing money around. He just wanted to slow down, sip a cold beer, and maybe share his golden years with someone special. And for a while it all felt perfect. She cooked for him, called him Deanie, made his little rental feel like a home. Until one morning, he woke up alone. No note, no goodbye, just an empty house, and the cold realization that the dream he built had never really been his. It's raw, it's sometimes funny, it's painful, and it's one of the most honest emails we've ever received. So, here's Dean's story, in his own words. G'day, mate. Didn't even know this channel existed until last week. Some other Aussie bloke at the bar in Hua Hin told me about it. Said, "You got to watch these stories, mate. It's like looking in a bloody mirror." He wasn't wrong. I've spent the last few nights binging the videos, half laughing, half cringing, and honestly wondering why nobody was making this kind of thing back in 2018. If I'd seen even one of those stories before I packed up my life and moved to Thailand, I might have saved myself a small fortune and a pretty decent pair of testes, emotionally speaking. Anyway, figured I'd chuck in my own story. It's not new. This all happened a few years back. But the sting's still there, mate. Like an old injury you swear is healed until you twist just the wrong way and bam, you're back on the physio table crying like a schoolboy. So here's how it all kicked off. It's a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays used to be pad thai night. Apple always made it with extra garlic. House smelled like heaven and indigestion. But not this Tuesday. This Tuesday I wake up in an empty bed. Fans spinning overhead like a lazy helicopter. No apple. No breakfast. No sarcastic, "Deanie, you snore like water buffalo." Just quiet. Real quiet. Too quiet. I checked the bathroom, toothbrush gone, wardrobe empty. The Hello Kitty slippers by the door? Still there, like a bad joke. But the woman who used to wear them vanished. I mean, vanished. No note, no goodbye. Just a ghost with great cheekbones. And I'm left standing in the kitchen, shirtless and confused, holding a cold cup of instant coffee and wondering where the hell my retirement went. You ever have one of those moments where you look around at your life and think, right, so this is how the dumb ones feel? That was me, 60 bloody 2, supposed to be cruising into the golden years. Golf in the morning, beers at sunset, a nice girl who rubs your feet and laughs at your dad jokes. Instead, I'm broke, alone, and seriously reconsidering my life choices while a gecko stares at me from the wall like he knew all along. So, yeah, that was the day I woke up alone. But it started long before that. Let me take you back to when I thought I was smarter than every other bloke who got taken for a ride over here. Spoiler alert, I wasn't. Now, before you start thinking I'm some hopeless romantic, let me set the record straight. I didn't come to Thailand chasing love or lust or whatever the travel blogs are calling it these days. Nah, I came here because I was cooked, done, burnt out like a snag left on the barbie too long. I'd spent 40 bloody years coaching rugby back home, high school teams, local league, even a stint with some up-and-coming rep side that thought they were God's gift to footy. Let me tell you, nothing ages you faster than yelling at teenage boys who think deodorant is optional and think defence is someone else's job. My knees were shot. My back sounded like a pack of rice bubbles every morning. Snap, crackle, pop. The final straw was when my best mate Kev dropped dead at the gym doing deadlifts. 63, fit as a fiddle, and bam! Face down next to a treadmill with more miles than my Toyota Hilux. That was my wake-up call. Couple weeks later, I walked into the principal's office, dropped my whistle on the desk and said, "I'm done, mate. Find someone else to scream at kids." sold the house in Penrith, packed up my stuff, mostly old jerseys and a ridiculous number of stubby holders, and booked a one-way ticket to Thailand. I didn't even know where I was going to land. Bangkok? Phuket? Chiang Mai? I just knew I wanted a beer, a beach, and a break from everything that reminded me of sideline drama and bloody paperwork. Ended up in Hua Hin. Quiet enough to breathe, loud enough that you don't feel like you're in God's waiting room. Found myself a cheap rental near the beach, nothing flash, but it had aircon and a bed that didn't squeak like a haunted ship. Spent my mornings walking along the water, my afternoons sipping Leo with other washed-up Westerners, and my nights falling asleep to the sound of lizards fighting over geckos or whatever the hell they eat. And you know what? I was happy. Didn't need much. Didn't want much. Just me, the sun, and a calendar I could finally ignore. I'd tell people, I'm not here to find a wife. I'm here to die with a tan. And I meant it. At least, I thought I did. Then, one day I walk into a little cafe by the beach, needed a break from Thai food and heard they had decent coffee, and there she was, Apple, wearing jeans, sipping a mango smoothie, laughing with the waitress, and mate, that's when everything went sideways. All right, let's talk about the fruit that ruined my retirement. Her name was Apple. Yeah, I know. Sounds made up, doesn't it? Like something out of one of those dodgy Western Thai romance novels with shirtless white blokes on the cover and titles like Bangkok Hearts or My Tuk Tuk Valentine. But no, that was her name. Or at least the one she gave me. Could have been Mango for all I know. Wouldn't have changed the ending. Anyway, picture this. I stroll into this beachfront cafe, sweating buckets because my dumb Aussie self thought a walk at 1 p.m. was a good idea. I just wanted a coffee and some shade, maybe a fan blowing directly into my soul. And there she was, sitting alone at a corner table, jeans and a plain white t-shirt, hair tied back, looking, how do I say this without sounding like a creep, peaceful. Not flashy. Not dolled up like the bar girls in Pattaya, just normal, which somehow made her stand out even more. She glanced up when I walked in, gave me one of those smiles that hits you straight in the chest like a well-placed shoulder charge, and went back to sipping her smoothie. Now I'd promised myself I wasn't going to be that guy. You know the type. Crusty expat pushing 70, hitting on anything under 30 with working knees. But I figured there was no harm in sitting nearby. Maybe a quick g'day if the moment felt right. 10 minutes later, I'm fumbling through a conversation with her, halfway through a banana shake I didn't want, nodding along while she tells me she used to live in Chiang Rai, but came down to help her sister with a massage shop. Not that kind of massage, she says, laughing. Of course not, I say, also laughing, while every red flag I own flaps wildly in the mental breeze. But she was charming, I'll give her that. Had a way of talking to you that made you feel like you were the only bloke in the world worth listening to. Ask questions, listen to the answers, even pretended to like rugby. Wallabies good team, she said. Bloody hopeless, I replied. She laughed like it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. I should have walked away right then, proud of my little flirtation and wiser for the experience. But no, not old Dino. Next thing I know, we're chatting every morning. She's showing up with takeaway noodles and papaya salad, telling me I need more vegetables, fixing the wonky leg on my fan like it was nothing. She called me Deanie by the end of the week. No one's called me that since my mum, and even then, it usually meant I was in trouble. Before I knew it, she'd wormed her way into my routine and my fridge. One day she brings over her toothbrush. Next day she's doing my laundry. Week after that, she's in my bed, snoring like a baby buffalo and stealing all the covers. And here's the worst part. I didn't hate it. In fact, I kind of liked it. She made me feel, I don't know, human again. Not just some old washed-up coach waiting to die in a hammock. So when she asked to stay a few nights a week, I said sure. When she stayed every night, I didn't complain. And when she said, I feel safe with you, I damn near melted. What I didn't realise was she didn't mean safe in the romantic sense. She meant financially secure, but I was too far in to see it. Too distracted by the laughter, the leg rubs, and the fact someone finally remembered how I like my coffee. Black, strong, and slightly judgmental. That was the beginning of the dream. A dream I'd pay dearly for later. Now I've always been a bit of a lone wolf, yeah? Spent years living on my own. Knew where everything was, didn't have to share the telly remote, and no one ever told me how many beers was too many on a Tuesday. But Apple, she had this way of making herself useful. Too useful. Like one of those ninja housemates who slowly takes over your life without you realising. It started with the laundry. Then my fridge started getting mysterious upgrades. Tupperware filled with soups I couldn't pronounce. Vegetables I hadn't voluntarily eaten since 1997. My bathroom suddenly smelled like flowers and cucumber-scented witchcraft. Next thing I know, there's a bloody Hello Kitty soap dispenser on the sink and a pink towel with sparkles hanging beside mine. Just for me, Deanie, she said, batting those eyes. And like an idiot, I said, looks great. Now don't get me wrong, I liked having her around. She cooked like a legend, kept the place tidier than a drill sergeant, and made this little sighing sound when she fell asleep that, I hate to admit, was kinda cute. Plus, and here's where I really went off the rails, I started feeling young again. Not in the physical sense. My knees still sounded like Velcro every morning, but emotionally, you know. Like I wasn't just some retired bloke killing time before the grave. She made me feel like I had another round left in me. We started doing couple things. Beach walks, night markets. She'd hold my hand in public, called me her Deanie Bear in this sing-song voice that would have made my mates back home take the piss for a decade straight. But I didn't care. I was smitten. And when she brought up meeting her family in Fetcherbury, I thought, yeah, all right, why not? My mama want to meet you, she said. Hope she likes grumpy Australians, I replied. She like beer, Apple said. Perfect, I grinned. Met her mum, lovely woman. Strong handshake, very few teeth. Kept feeding me fermented fish and nodding at Apple like they'd just pulled off a bank heist. Still, I convinced myself it was sweet, honest, genuine. And when Apple stayed longer and longer at mine, I told myself we were building something real. It wasn't until I caught her adjusting the picture frames and muttering about new curtains that I should have heard the warning bells. Because here's the thing about curtains. They're never just curtains. They're a symbol. A soft, floral warning sign that says, I live here now. And just like that, I stopped being a bloke enjoying his solo retirement in paradise and became a man shopping for air fryers with a woman who'd never heard of Don Bradman. I thought I was adapting. What I didn't realise, I was being absorbed. Right, so here's where it all starts to get properly stupid. We're lying in bed one night. She's got one leg wrapped around me like a bloody octopus. I'm half asleep watching some grainy YouTube clip about wallabies losing to England again. When she rolls over and says, Deanie, you think we stay together long time? Now, I've been around the block enough to know when a conversation's about to go from pillow talk to pocket talk. Still, I played along. Sure, I said, stretching, unless you've got plans to run off with a Swedish backpacker. She giggled, gave me one of those cheek kisses that feels like it costs you something, and then dropped the real line. I want small house, for us, so we not rent forever. Now look, I wasn't born yesterday, maybe the day before, sure, but even I knew the land laws here. Farang can't own land in Thailand, only Thai nationals. So if we did build a house, it'd be in her name, or more accurately, her cousin's name, who I'd never met but who apparently have very honest face. I laughed it off at first. Sweetheart, I came here to relax, not build bloody Lego sets in the jungle. But she kept bringing it up, gently, softly, like water wearing down stone. You have pension, right? We find cheap land. Mama knows someone sell land near river. Very cool air, good feng shui. I mean, what kind of bloke wants to argue against feng shui? Before I knew it, we were touring tiny patches of dirt in the middle of nowhere, her holding my hand and whispering, "Can make garden here. You like mango tree?" Mate, I didn't even eat mangoes, but I nodded like an idiot. She showed me sketches on her phone, little bungalows with wooden porches and hanging plants. Just for us, she said. Not too big, just happy. And I'll admit, I started seeing it too. I imagined us sitting out there at sunset, her massaging my shoulders, me yelling at the neighbour's rooster. Peaceful, maybe even beautiful. So I said yes, signed off on the land deal, gave her cousin the funds, paid cash because that's what you do in Thailand if you don't want 400 years of paperwork. We agreed to keep things simple. Spoiler, simple in Thai real estate means no receipts, no guarantees, and absolutely no refunds. Then came the building. She picked the tiles, she picked the paint, she picked everything, and I'm not exaggerating, right down to the bloody doormat that said, "Happy Family." "You not help?" she asked once, when I didn't care about curtain rods. "You're doing such a good job, darling," I said, sipping a beer and watching my wallet evaporate. By the end of it, we had a nice little 2-bedroom villa near her mum's place. Bright colours, shiny tiles, floral bedsheets that looked like they'd been designed by a sugar-crazed 5-year-old. And you know what? I was proud. Broke, but proud. Thought I'd finally done something right. Thought if I built her a nest, she'd stay forever. What I didn't realise is some birds already know how to fly. They're just waiting for the wind to shift. If you'd asked me back then what happiness looked like, I'd probably have pointed at that little house and said, "This, mate, right here, cold beer, quiet mornings, a woman who actually folds your shirts instead of balling them up like a gym sock." But you know what they don't tell you about dreams? They rot slow. At first it was subtle. She stopped laughing at my jokes. And look, I'll be the first to admit my material's a bit outdated. Half my references are from the 90s, and I still think fart jokes deserve more respect. But even so, the silence was deafening. Then came the phone thing. Always in her hand. Always face down when I walked in the room. I'd crack a line about how she must be managing NASA's launch schedule the way she was glued to that screen, and she'd just say, "Talking with friend, you not trust me?" And there it was, the golden deflection. Because now you're the bad guy. Doesn't matter if she disappears for 3 hours and comes back smelling like new car scent and secrets. If you question it, you're the ungrateful one. I tried to be cool about it. Told myself I was just being a jealous old bastard. Told myself it was normal, cultural differences and all that. Maybe she was just introverted, or tired, or allergic to emotional intimacy. But then the night started. You know the ones I mean. Mama sick. I go stay her house. Right. And I'm the Pope. At first I offered to go with her. Help out. Bring some soup. Do the good boyfriend thing. She said no. Every time. Too far, you stay. Relax. Which, to be fair, relaxing was the one thing I was good at by that point. I'd sit on the porch, drink a Leo, listen to the geckos having a domestic dispute on the ceiling, and try not to think about the fact my girlfriend, fiancée, because, yeah, we'd talked about marriage by then, hadn't touched me in weeks. And I don't mean touch like that. We'll keep it PG, no worries. I mean even a hand on the shoulder, a kiss goodnight, a shared joke, nothing. The affection evaporated. The warmth went with it. She was there, physically, but emotionally? Mate, I'd get more feeling out of a traffic cone. One night I asked her straight out, Apple, are we good? Have I done something wrong? She just looked at me with those big eyes and said, No, you good man, I just tired. Then she rolled over and went to sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling fan, listening to it click like a metronome counting down to something I didn't want to admit. I should have known. I did know. But when you've put everything, your savings, your heart, your faith, into something, walking away feels like admitting you're the joke everyone warned you about. So I stayed, because that's what blokes like me do. We stick around hoping maybe next week will be different. Spoiler, it wasn't. So there I was, another Thursday morning, same routine. Woke up groggy, stretched out my back till it cracked like bubble wrap, reached for Apple, and got a whole lot of nothing. Just cold sheets and the smell of that lavender shampoo she liked. You know the one. Came in a bottle shaped like a dolphin or some other nonsense. God, I hated that smell. At first I figured she was in the kitchen. She did that sometimes. Made breakfast early, and then came back to bed to wake me up like some soft-spoken ninja with toast. Cute at first, eventually annoying, but this time, kitchen's empty. No toast, no eggs, not even the kettle on. Odd. I checked the bathroom, nothing. Then I walk past the wardrobe, and my stomach does this slow, sickening drop. Her stuff's gone. All of it. The drawers she used, empty. The weird cactus-shaped pyjamas she loved, gone. Even the bloody Hello Kitty slippers by the door, the ones I tripped over twice a week and swore I'd throw out, missing. That's when I knew. She didn't go to her mum's. She didn't pop down to 7-Eleven. She was gone. Gone. Like magician's assistant in the final act, poof, vanished without a trace. I stood there, mouth half open, coffee halfway poured, staring at the place like I was in a crime scene. Only the victim was my self-respect. I called her, straight to voicemail. Texted, nothing. Tried line, blocked. Went full Columbo and knocked on her mum's door. She gave me this half shrug, half smirk, and said, She go Bangkok? No tell me anything? Right, sure, because Thai daughters never tell their mums anything, right? Then I checked the bank account we opened together. You know, the one I was told was just for groceries and utilities. Balance, zero, zilch, nada. Cleaner than my uncle's bar tab after he faked his own death. And don't even get me started on the house. Oh, the house! Because remember that land, the one I paid for, the one registered under her cousin's name? Yeah, I went to the local office, thinking I could at least get my name put on something. You know, proof I didn't just donate my life savings to the universe. And the guy behind the counter just smiled and said, You not Thai, you not own. Well, cheers, mate. Didn't need my dignity anyway. And you'd think this is the part where I broke down, right? Cried. Threw things. Went full Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Nope. I just sat on the front steps staring at the house I built, sipping a warm beer at 9 a.m. like it was the only thing tethering me to earth. You ever sit somewhere and realise the whole world moved on without telling you? That was me. Deanie, the dumb Aussie who thought he'd beaten the system. Turns out I was the bloody blueprint. Looking back, mate, everyone tried to warn me. Not just the blokes on YouTube, not just the geezer at the bar who told me, don't trust anything that calls you sexy man and asks for 50,000 baht in the same sentence. Not even my sister back in Oz who sent me that sarcastic message. Good luck with your retirement romance. Let me know when she takes the house and your kidneys." They all had something to say, and I, being the worldly, wise, emotionally unavailable 60-something I am, replied with the same thing every idiot says right before disaster. "Nah, this one's different." You know how blokes convince themselves of that? 'Cause she made me feel needed. Not just wanted, needed. I was the big strong man again, the protector, the provider, the bloke who fixed the broken fan and killed the centipede in the bathroom with a flip-flop like a hero from a B-grade action film. She made me feel relevant, like I had a role in someone's life, like I wasn't just some crusty old coach collecting dust in a bungalow. And maybe, just maybe, I needed that more than I was willing to admit. Now here's the kicker, you ready? She never actually said she loved me, not once. She said, "I care for you." She said, "You good man." She said, "I feel safe with you," but not, "I love you." That bit. I filled that in myself, projected it, like a dopey little PowerPoint presentation called "Please Validate My Retirement." I built the whole fantasy, the happy ending, the porch swings and mango trees and grandkids who called me Pardini. She just smiled and let me believe it. Honestly, that's the part that stings the most. Not the money, not even the house. It's the fact that I did this to myself. I was the one who ignored the red flags. I was the one who convinced myself she'd stay. I was the one who didn't want to see the truth, even when it slapped me in the face wearing a pair of knockoff Crocs and holding a phone I wasn't allowed to touch. People say love is blind. Nah, mate, love's not blind. It's willfully ignorant and wearing noise-cancelling headphones. And when the music finally stops, you're the only one left dancing. So what now? Well, I'm still here, aren't I? Still in Hua Hin, still sweating through my shirts by 10 a.m, still getting side-eye from Apple's cousin whenever I pass by the market. You know, the one who just helped with paperwork. Should have charged her a commission, honestly. I moved out of the dream house. Couldn't stomach being in there anymore. Every room echoed with memories I didn't ask for. Her voice, her laugh, the way she used to hum some Thai love song while frying eggs that somehow always tasted better than mine. I let it go. Didn't fight for it. Didn't call a lawyer. Didn't put her face on a missing persons poster like I wanted to. Just walked away. Moved into a modest little rental near the beach. 2 rooms. One old fan that sounds like it's dying slowly. Neighbours are mostly German retirees and one very angry rooster with insomnia. I go to the gym a few mornings a week, hit the bar once or twice, but I don't chase anymore. Not girls, not dreams, not anything with heels or an Instagram account. Do I still think about her? Yeah, more than I'd like to admit. Not because I miss her exactly, but because I miss what I thought we had. That version of her in my head. The sweet, barefoot girl with the mango smoothies and big eyes who just wanted a simple life with an old Aussie. That girl never existed. She was my imagination's little prank. But I hold on to one thing, mate. I don't regret coming to Thailand. It's easy to blame the place. Say bloody Thailand, full of scammers and heartbreakers. But that's not fair. This country didn't lie to me. It didn't empty my account. It didn't whisper sweet nothings in my ear while texting some guy named Golf behind my back. People do that, not places. Thailand gave me sunshine, quiet, freedom, and ironically, a crash course in humility I probably needed more than I realised. Now I take each day slower. I still smile when I see couples walking hand in hand on the beach. Then I check their body language for red flags like a retired FBI profiler. Trust is a funny thing, isn't it? You don't know how much of it you've lost until you try to give it again and realise the tank's dry, but I'm working on it. All right, If you've made it this far without throwing your phone in the ocean or crying into your singer, then let me leave you with a bit of free advice. And trust me, this is the good stuff. Paid for in full with emotional damage, half a villa, and enough garlic fried rice to kill a small elephant. If you're thinking about moving to Thailand, chasing a dream, finding love, building your little happily ever after with a girl half your age who calls you my king and winks like she means it, mate, sit down, breathe, and then do nothing for 6 months. Seriously, nothing. Rent a place. Get to know the locals. Drink your beers. Learn how to say more than check bin. And most importantly, don't let loneliness make decisions your brain should be handling. You see a pretty face? Cool. Say hi. Have a meal. But if she starts redecorating your place before she's memorised your last name, run. If she says, you no need to worry, I take care everything, mate, run faster. And if she suggests putting land in someone else's name because we family now, buddy, drop your wallet and sprint like a bloody Olympian. Now, I'm not saying they're all like that. There are good women here, I've met a few. They're usually the ones who work hard, ask for nothing and look at you like a person, not a wallet with feet. Even after getting scammed, I don't feel sad or bitter. I came here to live, and mate, did I ever. Cheers. That was Dean's story. Brutal, honest, and sadly, not uncommon. He thought he was building a life with someone who cared. Instead, he built a house she'd walk away from, and a lesson he'll carry forever. If his story hit close to home, or made you stop and think, do us a favour, give the video a like, and make sure you're subscribed. These stories are real, and the next one could save someone a whole lot of heartache. Got your own story to tell? Send it in. Your words might be the warning another man needs. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, inside Thailand.